Aligning a software team for high performance here on Programming with Palermo.
You are programming with Palermo. You deliver software. You need to move fast, deliver quality, and run your software with confidence. Stay tuned for timeless solutions, simple methods, and topics that will propel you forward. And now your host, lifelong programmer, author, teacher, coach, Christian, and charismatic speaker, Jeffrey Palermo.
Hello, welcome back to Programming with Palermo. I'm your host, Jeffrey Palermo, and we're going to be talking today specifically a team architect topic, team leadership. You're the software leader, you're the architect, and no matter how many software engineers are on the team, we need to align everyone going in the same direction. Without intentionally aligning people to think the same way, understand the same purpose, the different things to value, what our 1 year, 3 year goals are, people are going to go in different directions. It's just natural. It's just human nature. And so we're going to go through what all the concepts are that yield a perfectly aligned software team, and then talk about a simple template format that you can use in order to make sure that you understand in your own head where you're trying to point the team, and then a tool to help communicate that to everyone on the team member, either right now when you're forming a new team, a new project, or when a team member comes or goes, or there's any other staffing change. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about aligning your software team. So ClearMeasure is a software architecture company that exists to empower software delivery. We do that by guiding .NET software team leaders, who are enabling your team to establish quality, achieve stability, and increase speed. And while team leaders go by various titles, we'll call you the leader, the team architect. Now, the ClearMeasure way is a set of principles, practices, and measures that every architect will need in order to fully empower his team. And it consists of 3 pillars: quality, stability, speed, in that order. And it also includes guidance to build better architects and software leaders. But today we're going to talk about the job of aligning your team. Even before you start talking with your team about quality or stability or the pace at which software delivery is happening, we need to get the team formed and aligned. And that's where one of our tools comes in, the team alignment template. Now, we're going to go through that.
Programming with Palermo is brought to you by ClearMeasure, a software architecture company that empowers .NET teams to be self-sufficient, moving fast, delivering quality, and running their software with confidence in Azure. If your team has a project that's too important to be delayed or derailed, ClearMeasure can help, while keeping your team in the driver's seat and growing in capability. Click on clearmeasure.com for more information. If you are an architect or .NET engineer aspiring to become an architect, check out clearmeasure.com/careers. Now, back to the show.
We're going to go through that, and I'm going to walk you through every part of this. And it's a simple one-page document where you just fill in the blanks. And the important part to recognize about your team is that it doesn't automatically start hitting on all cylinders. It doesn't automatically go in the same direction. It takes some leadership. And so this isn't technical. This isn't about engineering practices. This actually applies to any kind of team, but we're going to apply it to a software team. And so this is the template. It just go to our website. It's freely available. Grab it, fill it in, and then use it to distribute to your team and make sure that every member of your team knows the answers, knows the purpose of this particular team within the company, the values that this particular software team has to guide the way we think, what goals we want to accomplish over 3 years, 1 year, who are our stakeholders in our company that make the decision to keep funding the software team, who are the customers that use the software, not just users of the software, but customers that decided to pay for their people to be users of the software. And then finally, what themes are on our roadmap, on our long-term roadmap. So let's look at an example of this completely filled in and walk through it. Now, this one is a is a piece of software that's already public. Actually, ShowWorks Auction is on Microsoft's .NET Showcase. It uses Blazor and Azure SQL and Azure App Service and SignalR Service and Azure Service Bus and cool technology. And so you can go look at the technical side. Just search Microsoft.com for ShowWorks Auction. And if you have a hard time just with that, you can add in the words clear measure and it'll pull up. So let's walk through the different blanks as it comes to this real life software team. This is one of the teams that we helped. The team name, whatever, and this is the product name was ShowWorks Auction. Team name, you know what? It's ShowWorks Auction or Auction Team. It's pretty simple. And then the team status. So is your team in the forming stages where you're still adding people and people are starting to come together and gel? Are you in the second stage, storming, where you're still having discussions about how you're going to operate, who's going to fill what role? Maybe there's a little bit of conflict. Or are we norming, where we're starting to get the gist of things? We have a lot of aspects that are really starting to gel, but we're still working on a few aspects. Or the last one is performing, when we're steady state. The people on the team are consistent. Everybody knows what to do. There's no question about what our priorities are or how we're working, and so we're performing and we're tweaking. And that 4 stages of a team, there's books on that. That's a well-worn progression of team status. Okay, so purpose for this particular team, the purpose of the team, or the why, for why does the team exist? And by the way, you see the tooltips popping up. If you forget how to fill that in, there's tooltips there, and also there is a knowledge base article. All you got to do is click this. It'll pull up a complete tutorial you can review, or you can train your team members or other peer architects on how to use the team alignment template. But for purpose, why does this particular team exist? Well, the ShowWorks Auction software team exists to maximize the benefit of livestock auctions for county fairs through a solution that automates the work to conduct the auction and maximize the funds raised to the youth exhibitor. County fairs have livestock auctions, and while a lot of them have some other type of auctions, the livestock auction is huge. FFA kids, 4-H kids, they raise an animal and then they enter it as an entry in a county fair. They are the exhibitor, and at the end, after whether they've gotten a blue ribbon or an award or the grand champion, then they sell the animal at the auction to recoup funds for their next agriculture project. And these are the future farmers of America that are going to feed our next generation. And so that is the purpose of this team. Now, I included a bad example because it would be lazy for us to say, oh, the purpose of this software team is to build and operate the auction software system. Okay, obviously we're going to build some software. Obviously we're going to run some software in production. But that's not why the team exists. That's not why the executives of said company chose to invest and continue funding the payroll of the software team on a week in and week out basis. No. Why the software team exists is for the exhibitors, the youth exhibitor, to maximize the funds raised, automate the work. It's an outcome. There's a reason why we need software in the first place, and it guides everyone's thinking that we're not just operating a software system, because if there is a process solution to further the purpose, then let's put some process guidance around it. And maybe it doesn't have to be a software feature. For example, a little bit of guidance or instructional text on a software screen to tell the user something to do offline. Sometimes that really furthers the cause as opposed to yet another software feature. So make sure that everyone understands why we are thinking about this. We're thinking about it for the benefit of those who participate in the livestock auction. And then values. This for values, the tooltip kind of explains, this establishes a compass for how the team will make decisions. What do we value? How do we make decisions? Now, at the company level, executives talk a lot about core values, and these are These are company level values of how the entire company runs. Well, pull that same concept down to the software team. Okay. What do we value as a software team that's going to impact how we go about living out this software team's purpose? And so for this particular team, these were the team's value statements. They want to be a they want to be a blessing to all of the user types, the fair volunteers, the exhibitors, the buyers, all those people that have something to gain through this software system. They want to make it easy and painless to use the software and make the software get good results, right? They always want the software to be deployable. That means being able to deploy changes in the middle of the day, whenever, okay? They want a highly responsive UI design, not where you click and you wait a second and then it comes up, but they want it to be super snappy, zero lag, instant response, okay? And then they want it to be smartphone optimized because they realize that most of these users, and when you're walking around an auction barn at a county fair, you don't have a desktop or laptop computer, you're walking around with a smartphone, okay? Or maybe at best a tablet. And then finally, process. We value process, not just product. And that is, we might just put another step in the process guidance for how to conduct one of these auctions, and that may really help. We might not have to make another software feature. So this particular software team, these were the value statements. Don't worry about making them sound awesome or making them grammatically correct. Just get down what you value, what concepts are going to guide the way we go about the software work, from envisioning new features, from designing them, from choosing libraries and third-party dependencies and architecturally structuring how dependencies work together, every bit of it, okay? What do we value? And the next one is 3-year goals. Thinking into the future, what do we want to achieve? Well, this team, over the 3-year goal, wants all aspects of a county fair auction to be fully automated. No more manual paperwork remaining. And so in some of these auctions, people would wait in sometimes a long line, to get a buyer number to register to bid on an animal, or any number of things, or after the auction's over, figure out what animals need to go to what trailers to go to their next destination. They have ear tags, but it's a lot of correlation. Another 3-year goal is to have the fairs be able to execute multiple auctions simultaneously in a fully self-service manner, okay? So ease of use, complete product. And then the final one, they put a monetary goal of average revenue per fair. And obviously that was, in this case, it was predicated on helping the fair raise a certain amount of money. And so they put a dollar amount because there was a lot of design of features to help increase that average revenue per fair, okay? So a lot of times that's important. And then pulling back a 1-year target, you're kind of casting some vision, some goals for 3 years into the future. Now let's pull it back to 1 year. What features do we intend to have in production at the end of 1 year? Okay. And so this team, at the time of this drafting, they wanted to finish a particular, kind of redacted it. They want to finish a particular feature set so that the complete auction workflow was automated. Okay. There was one feature set that was still pending that wasn't quite finished. So within the year, they wanted to have that nailed down and out there. And then the second one, they wanted to reduce common help desk questions by a certain percentage. With customers bring in questions, problems. Most of the time, it's just questions about how to do something with the software system, and they wanted to make it more user friendly and more obvious what to do, so that the people using the software could use it, but not have as many questions, not be stuck by, oh, what should I do next? Not particularly hard things, but some things weren't obvious and self-evident. And so they wanted to modify the software, put in more guidance, make things more streamlined so that it was obvious what to do and reduce those help desk tickets. Okay. Then the next box in top right is, who are your stakeholders? Now, this is who are the software team's stakeholders. Who defines the business objectives and pays for the software? So the stakeholders are going to be internal to our company or internal to your company. And in this case, for the ShowWorks Auction product, it was the ShowWorks Auction general manager. That general manager also served as the product chief, the product manager, the one really making priority decisions. And then we want to be clear on who the team's customers are. and that is, who is the team serving? The users, the outside customer buying the software. And so in this case, it's the county fair board of directors that approve the usage of the software in general, and then the county fair auction volunteers who work to put that auction on, the youth exhibitors who enter their animal in the auction, and then the buyers who bid and buy the animals at auction. Those are the exterior customers. Those are the user types that we're ultimately going to serve. Those are customers. If we don't properly serve them, they're not going to buy the software, and then we don't have any customers for the software. Okay. And then finally, the last box is themes. And those are what features will be rolled out in what order. And the concept is not a new concept. Some people like to call it epics. Themes is a pretty common word as well. But generally, what big groupings of features do we want to focus on in order to make our 1-year target, 3-year goals? There's no limit. As many themes as you have line of sight, fair game. And so this team wanted the features that were grouped under the fully automatic theme to come first. They want the software to be fully automatic. Second one, they wanted to have the user interface have a immersive auction experience. Okay, and this system has embedded live streaming. It has real-time notifications, all kinds of stuff. Next theme is higher auction revenues for each fair. Now that that's the last goal in the 3-year goals. And then the final theme is make it resilient to network faults and high network latency. Okay. Now, obviously, within each one of those is any number of features, and who knows how long it would be to completely accomplish that theme. And most of the time you have a theme where you start working on it and you realize, okay, the 80-20 rule, we're going to accomplish this theme enough. Not everything we could imagine in this theme, but to the point where we say, you know what? This theme is no longer the top priority. Let's bump down the remaining envisioned and imagined work in this theme. Let's bump it down. That's perfectly fine. Okay. All right. So this team alignment template, super simple. It's not rocket science. However, without putting these things on paper, it's really tough to get all the software engineers on the team thinking in the same direction, moving in the same direction. And this type of thing is just important to people as drawing the architecture of a particular software feature, because without these things, everyone has a picture in their own head about why the team exists or what the structure should be and where we're going, what the goals really are, what the priorities really should be. And it's hard to align people. And so this is a very valuable tool for you architects to align your team so that everyone can get on the same page. I will say that if you are on a team that is norming or performing and you have a team member leave or you add a new team member, recognize that staffing has changed and you need to understand that the team status has gone back to forming. Whether it's only one team member or more, you're still in the forming stage. People are getting to know each other. The new team members need to be trained on your team alignment template, the purpose and the values and everything else for how the team is operated so that they can get up to speed. And then you need to go through the storming phase where the team members now slightly or very significantly different figure out how they're going to work towards each other, work together, and then get back to norming and get back to performing so that you can keep the quality high, keep stability top notch, and get the speed of delivery back to what it was before the staffing change, and then continue to increase from there. So from time to time, especially when you have a staffing change, it's important to review this document with the team, perhaps at your retrospective cycles at least, and make sure that everyone continues to be on board and completely understands everything in this document. Well, that was a lot of information, but it's so important to get your team aligned and moving in the right direction and thinking in the right direction. There's no amount of supervision that you could ever offer for your team to have everyone go in the same direction unless you actually go through this exercise. And so, uh, here, the team alignment template, simple tool to go through. And even if you have your own document, it doesn't have to be this one, but these concepts are super important for your leadership as the team's architect to make sure that everyone knows the overarching purpose and and the team values and are all going in the right direction. And so hope this tool helps. And again, you have a big job to do. You're the architect, but you can do it. Now go do it. God bless.
You've been watching Programming with Palermo, your primary place for highly productive programming protocols and practices. Remember, you have what it takes. You can do this. You are a programmer, formed by God Himself and called to this profession for a purpose. You can catch every episode at Palermo.network as well as syndicated locations nationwide. We're so glad you tuned in. Until next time, may God bless you, and thanks for Programming with Palermo. Programming with Palermo has made a special arrangement with Marketplace Chaplains. Besides programming challenges, we all face issues in life where we need some help. If you'd like, you can call a chaplain confidentially. To speak with a gentleman, dial 512-923-8178. Or to speak with a lady, dial 512-619-6950. The show won't know you called, and everything is kept in strict secrecy. This is a free service, available if you or a friend need it.